Okay, today we're going to learn the grip of a football and also the release of a football. Essentially all of the finite motor mechanics of what our hands do while we're throwing a football. We're not going to get any of the big ones, any of the step, the stride, any of our big motor mechanics. We're just going to focus on how our hands and our fingers interact with the ball when we throw. We first have to start with determining whether the ball is the appropriate size. There's guidelines for different levels of football in terms of age. In different weight classes they use different size balls, but you might have some variance in how big the kid is. 12-year-olds are different sizes, so you want to start out with, is the ball fit the individual's hand size? An easy way to find out is using your middle finger and your thumb, which is actually where we start with the positioning of the grip. But we're just going to start for right now and see if this ball is the appropriate size. We're going to take our middle finger and we want to slide it down to the top of the laces, somewhere in between the first and second knuckle. Then we want to wrap our thumb around and have our thumb and our middle finger equidistant from the top of the football. If you can grab that and keep your other fingers off and just hold it with your thumb and your middle finger equidistant from the top, that ball is probably appropriately sized. Now, since we have the appropriately sized ball, we want to actually start doing the grip. And we've already started actually where we need to, with that middle finger sliding down to hit the top of the laces. I said in between the first and second knuckle. Some people prefer at the first knuckle, and a few people prefer at the second knuckle. I prefer right in the middle, so that's where we're going to start. Right in between first and second knuckle on the top of the laces. Again, the thumb wraps around just like that so we can hold it, and from there you just kind of place your fingers down where they feel natural. Instead of going through every single finger to figure it out, it's really just easy to start with these two right there, holding it, and then let those fingers fall where they may. The pointer finger, sometimes you get variation with people liking to creep up to the top of the ball. You got a lot of guys in the NFL who have enormous hands who have that actual finger on top of that football, which is very rare to see in youth ball, just because of the size of the hands. But this is a pretty solid grip in terms of finger placement. You might have people who slant it this way a little bit or slant it that way a little bit, but as long as that thumb and that middle finger are equal distance from the top and the fingers lay down naturally, it should be good. One of the most important parts, probably more important than the finger grip, is where it's being gripped on your palm. If you can see, there is space in between the football and my palm. I can actually see the camera from where I am right now. This is because, very similar to dribbling a basketball, we don't want to be slapping the ball with our palm when we dribble a basketball. We don't want to be contacting the football with our palm like that. There's no space in between. When we lay our fingers down, there should be an air bubble or a gap right in there. That's because we use our fingers to manipulate the football, not our palm. So that's probably the most important thing to check for when you're gripping a football in a youth player. Is there that space? They have a tendency to palm the ball and just kind of throw it. We're going to skip all the way to the end of the throwing motion, past the stride, past where it should be, past all that stuff that you get a lot of. And we're going to go right to the follow-through because it also involves a lot of where our fingers are on the ball and what it does. So when we get to that follow-through of the ball, a very little known fact is that when you follow through and finish, your hand actually ends up pointing away from your body outside. You get this action when you follow through. That's because this is an oblong-shaped ball. It's not round, and for it to throw appropriately, you have to have it in a spiral so it cuts through the air. The only way to do that is to follow through with that palm out. The slow motion of what happens when you do that is you get the fingers releasing one by one as they come off the hand. First the pinky comes off, then the ring finger, then the middle finger comes off, then the thumb comes off, and the last finger you'll have in the ball is our pointer finger. And our pointer finger will snap off, and the wrist will snap, and that will give it that final spiral, and it will also send our hand down away from our body. That's how to grip a football, and that is the release and the follow-through of the football.